That first one is a service error, and Trevor Clark returns the favor. So one apiece on a couple service errors. Tritons will swap out the liberos. You've got Boyle, who goes in for serve receive, and Keegan Cook, who goes in for some backcourt defense. Here's Leo Provednikov in his second year starting. Triton fans start off the slow clap and 3 straight service errors. 2 into the net. That one shot well long, so seeing if we can land one in play here. Cameron Costi, redshirt freshman out of Hayward up in Northern California's East Bay, and Bishop O'Dowd. Gets one into play, and here we go. Lures set Sani, turns it in off the block. And Sebastiano Sani has his first kill. Transfer from Long Beach State, talked about this in the open. His brother Francesco, a former All-American at UC Irvine. And Seba, 4th in the Big West in kills, 3rd in points. Let's get a look at Anteater head coach David Niffen. Turn that one back in off the block and all the way out for a UC Irvine point. That's William Darcy, honorable mention all Big West a season ago. Redshirt senior at 6'10" out of Brisbane, Australia. Lures, setting Eward, who overshoots it on the D-ball. That's an area that they've liked going to Luke Chandler so far this season. For Triton head coach Brad Rostratter, led this group to 18 wins a year ago. Most by the Tritons in the D2, D1 era since 1989. It's a group that's been on the up and up. Sani over the block and out. 5-2 start for the visiting Anteaters, who won this thing in 3 sets yesterday. 25-20 in the first, and 26-24 and 29-27. Just off the tape, so the setter lures with the first touch. Tritons are out of system. They get a hard look off the hands. Costi tomahawk keeps it alive. Pushed off the Triton block and down for a William Darcy point. 7th in the Big West in kills, 10th in hitting percentage among qualified student athletes, and a nice start here for UC Irvine. Those last 2 sets last night up in Orange County, nip and tuck. The Eaters setting a tone on the road. Good first touch, Sani. They go back to Ewert, and he puts it away. Talked about this group being on the up and up, but these are the measuring stick matches. This stretch of 6. The Eaters, the Beach, and Hawaii. Then Ewert is a guy who's got out of this world level athleticism. Cashes in for the Tritons and puts their setter Lures on serve. Lures goes long with the serve, and already for UC San Diego, 3 service errors. Coming into this one, Eaters 12th in the country, 5th in the Big West in hitting percentage. Tritons defensively holding opponents to 239 hitting. 28th in the country, 5th in the Big West. Out of 6 teams in the conference, 74 across NCAA men's volleyball. Tritons, for their part, hitting .320. That's 10th in the country. That was a mark coming into this week. And UC Irvine opponents hitting .245. So the offense is ranking better than the defenses for these 2 squads. And the Tritons' service struggles continues. They've had 4 errors. UC Irvine's had 2 on their side, so already 6 out of our 12 points decided on service errors as these teams try and settle in. And another one here, that makes it 7. And it's 8-5, UC Irvine over UC San Diego. David Niffen, product of this program, and led the team to a national championship in his first season back in 2013. Second coach to do that. Right into the Triton double block, and they put up the wall. Jim Garrison and Leo Provednikov. 4th in the Big West as a group with 2.1 blocks per set on the year. Sets up Peter Selcho, another of the Triton middles on serve. They want to go back row. Sani gets a piece of it. That one will go over and out. Yeah, that's us in the back row on the bottom of the screen, and I'm not going anywhere near that thing. If you're trying to dive for that one, you're probably taking out the printer in the process. maybe in a gotta-have-it point. Maybe not in the first set. Roll it over. Garrison first touch and the kill. Savvy from the veteran Jim Garrison in this 4th year starting for the Tritons. The redshirt senior out of Manhattan Beach and Mira Costa High School. Peeling off to take the short serve. Quick into transition, and his offense has been one of the bright spots for this group in conference. Brad Rostrader highlighted it when we talked prior to the match tonight. Ewert with the cannon of a serve. Tritons scrambling to stay alive. They extend the point. Heaters off the free ball. Off a small hop dug by Sonny. Lures back to Ewert, takes them off. Costi in setting that D ball. Nice up Sonny again. Provednikov over the block and out. Spot was open as he tried to pick it out in area 1, but just a little long that time from Provednikov. Good long point, good long rally, and it's got UC Irvine up 10-7. Lures trying to rescue this one, somehow finds its way over. And off an awkward play, it's a Triton block. Eaters extended again on a big swing from Goss. And trying to knuckleball it over. Won't work that time for Ewert coming out of the back. So a big emphasis to get him going on that D-ball early for UC San Diego. 1.4 kills per set, hitting .249 on the year. It's been a lot of Luke Chandler in that spot recently. And service here from Trevor Clark, Lake Elsinore native out of Temescal Canyon High School. Ewert having to wait on it. Good patience, got a big swing away. Darcy bump setting out of system, forced to free ball it over. Provednikov puts it away for the Tritons. First kill for Leo P. 2.6% on the year on .262 hitting. Long Beach native out in high school in his redshirt junior campaign. Started out the year as an opposite. The emergence of Chandler allowed him to move back to his familiar post at outside. Harrison gets hands on this one from Goss. Forcing a bump set, ends up over. They'll set it back to the middle. Hammer of a shot, and it goes through. And Ewert goes crashing in to the scorer's table on our far side. And looks like we'll set up for a little bit of mop-up duty as you take another look. Nice play with the Tritons, thinking that might be an over quickly, and also an awkward look there for Keegan Cook, the libero. See, Ewert came scrambling in, might have taken a shot to the hip there for the Tritons, but looks like he's good to go. There is some pad at the bottom of that, but not a lot of give. You're taking a heavier shot than a lighter one. Big serve, nice dig, and off speed from Jim Garrison. He's been hyper efficient for the Tritons. He's got an attacking error early. You don't see a lot of matches where he has more than one. Put up a 6-1-11 line last night in Irvine. Off the tape, try to float it over. Lures had it covered. Provednikov sets Josh Ewert. Hammers it off the tape, up by the libero Aitken. And now straight up and down. Perfectly met by William Darcy. 7th in the Big West in kills per set. 10th among qualified student athletes in hitting. He hit .391 with 11 kills last night. And Mr. Darcy makes it a 4-point lead in the first. Service error from Jokanovic gives it back. Thinking about a challenge here, and David Niffin will go ahead and issue one. So UC Irvine looking to challenge in or out on the serve. Our officiating crew tonight, John Pedersen, the up ref, Tom Saunders, the down ref, John Park and Troy Ramos are on the lines. For the crew of 4 here. So teams will huddle up. Opportunity to talk it out over a timeout in the opening set. And the way the Big West schedule works, seeing 2 teams so closely together, so you get an opportunity to run it back and try to put some things into action right away from what you saw from the previous match. That looks like it's a shade out from here. I thought that was the call live. That's the closest corner to our view here courtside. Close enough that the Eaters felt like it was worth a challenge. This is a group that's coming off a solid season, 21-7, 6-4 in the Big West. They took out CSUN in the conference tournament and lost to Hawaii in 4 sets in the semifinal. Another look here, frame by frame. That looks tight, much tighter from that angle. But the question is, do you have the right kind of evidence to overturn it? It has to be indisputable evidence. And if you had to put it to me there, I'd say based on that angle, I think it's in. I think it got a piece of the line, but it did indisputably get a piece of the line. Down ref, Tom Saunders having a look. This one's gonna be close. No fun to sit on the fence. We always like to put in our best guess as well based on what we're looking at. I think it actually landed in, but I think the call will stand based on it being tight. We'll see though, plenty of cameras for the officials to go through. In-house camera system in use as well. Part of the benefit of that is they don't have the live pans that you see on some of our broadcast cameras. So they can try and slow it down without some of that little extra motion and blur. It can be tough to get the very slow-mo and get the conclusive evidence that you need. Verdict is in here. Serve is in. So good challenge in a pinpoint spot. And again, we can only tell you based on some of the looks that we have what we're able to see. And Brad Rostrader asking for an extra word with Tom Saunders after that one. But I think you saw from that back angle, and it was a good one, that it did just clip a piece of the line. They got evidence, and they got indisputable evidence. So it's an ace for UC Irvine. And Andre Jokanovic, 5-time Big West Freshman of the Week. 26th ace of the year, and overswing, kind of lost his footing coming down too on that next serve. So it gives it back to UC San Diego and John Lewers. Transfer from Lincoln Memorial. He was an honorable mention All-American last season. Came in as the #2 setter, took over in late January, and has held the post since. Quick look out of the middle, sent back by the Triton double block. This time they'll try the right side. High off the hands, Provetnikov gets the first touch. Sani on the set from Lewers. Nice spot, Seba Sani. Got the better of the libero Aitken on the other side. And a point for UC San Diego. 14-11, UC Irvine, opening set in La Jolla. About an hour, 15-minute drive, wildly dependent on when you leave, separating these two programs. Lewers gets some depth to this serve. Hard off the hands, and a quick whippy swing that time from Andon Kiriakou. Lewers set Selcho out of the middle. As one handed up, they turn it around, pop this one deep. Get Lewers the first touch. So it's Sani, patience, rolls one off the hands. Costi setting right side into the Triton block. And UC San Diego has Josh Ewart fired up. Ewart and Selcho for the Tritons, denying William Darcy. That's been hard to do for UC San Diego. His first attacking error. He started out with a 4.06 clip. Heaters hitting 235, Tritons hitting 125 in the opening set. Big serve from Sani. Jokanovic with the dig, plenty of time to get under it, and Darcy with the answer. That one over and out behind the curtain, behind the UC San Diego bench. The 11 kills for Darcy last night. And he'll head back to serve. Back-to-back Big West Offensive Player of the Week back in January. Shoots this one long. Service error gives it to UC San Diego. Now team's not holding anything back, really going for it on the serve. We've seen 1 ace and 9 errors combined. The 1 ace coming from Jokanovic, who needed a challenge to overturn that one. Triton triple block ping-pongs it around. Garrison, quick up and down out of the middle. UC Irvine asking about 4 hits. Look for a touch off the shoulder from earlier in the point. Looks like they might go ahead and issue a challenge once again. They won the first one. Got the serve overturned. So they retain that. You get 3 per match, and you can go through as many as you like as long as you're successful. You only lose it if you're unsuccessful. So David Niffen having a chat here with Tom Saunders and trying to specify. They take a look at it, exactly what they want to look at. We could read some of the body language and the student athletes on the court as well. They said 4 hits. And tapped the shoulder to indicate that it was that action earlier at the net when 3 Tritons went up. It might have hit 1-2. So let's take another look here. Yeah, off the touch, which you're good on that first one, but it's the second one back off the shoulder that would come to a first hit. Dig would be the second, the set would be the third, and then the swing would be the fourth. That's what UC Irvine is calling for here. And just an interesting situation where you get it wedged in between a couple blockers. You hit off a 1, which that touch at the net is always free. But then the second hit off the shoulder that sent it back, boom, boom. I'll show it to you again. Yeah, it was Ewert looking to cover late, and then it goes off of Garrison's shoulder. Again, you just don't often have a blocking setup where that's even a possibility, but it's Ewert trying to make the jump late once he realized that Trevor Clark was going to take a full swing. Clark, by the way, the Big West leader in hitting percentage on the season at .541. First one free, the second one is not. UC Irvine should win this challenge, but now you should know that my track record is not always stellar trying to call these things out live. I think they got a good case going back earlier in the point. So 4 hits would terminate the point and give it back. Talked about Clark, he's leading the Big West, he's leading the country with that .543 hitting percentage. A lot of student athletes that can really run up the numbers, but don't always have the volume to qualify. But as for this group, they've got hitting percentage leaders at the 1, 8, and 9 spots in the conference. Clark also leads the Big West in blocks. He's top 10 in that mark nationally. They've got 2 of the best 3 dig marks as well from Aiken and Kiriakou. Jokanovic, for his part, 3rd in kills per set, as we talked about. So all of that, a lot of guys leading the way in the Big West. Their setter, for his part, Costi, 6 in assists per set coming in. So those are a few of the individual numbers for this UC Irvine group that boasts a dangerous offense and a good service team as well, sitting in 5th in RPI. At 4 hits. And it's a point for UC Irvine, so good use of the challenge. Once again, 2 successful points on challenges. And John Lure is coming over to talk to John Pedersen. Try and get a final explanation on that. And Brad Rostratter on the other side still talking with Tom Saunders. That's an interesting one. It's play that you rarely see. I don't remember seeing anything quite like this in recent memory calling volleyball. So the Tritons are still arguing their point here. Again, that first block doesn't count. And then you've got the double contact rule, which doesn't come into play here. Because it wasn't the same player. Well, sometimes you might stick around and take a little bit longer. After the points to get an explanation. This is about as long as you ever see it go. So Brad Rostrader was talking with Tom Saunders and then was calling across the court to John Pedersen as well. Challenge, it goes 17-13, and we're back to it here in the opening set. Off the long layoff, Tritons can't connect. Tried to get Sonny coming out of the back. Looking to go up with his familiar right, then trying to shift in an emergency effort to the left, and now UC San Diego will take a timeout. Good time to do it, trying to reset the flow as the Anteaters with an 18-13 edge in the opening set. They're hitting 263 to 125 for the Tritons. It's Darcy who's been leading the way. 5 kills, an error on 8 total attempts, hitting 500 on the nose. Garrison and Sonny, 2 kills apiece for UC San Diego. The block was one of the big differences yesterday. And the Tritons, who lost the battle 11-3, winning that mark 2-0. Aces errors, dead even for these groups. Both teams -4 on the ace error ratio. Dick's right about even in the opening set as well, with the Eaters out hitting the Tritons 263 to 125. And UC Irvine taking the time to stay loose as well, as a lot of Eaters on the court, but the Tritons talking it out. 2 successful challenges in this opening set. UC San Diego with some good court coverage so far. Those 8 digs, 2 apiece from Sonny Provednikov and Lures. And in Kiriakou, set to serve it up. We played 1 point in about the last 10 minutes. And we're back to it. Lures setting Provednikov, ISO'd, but cannot connect. Tritons are getting into some good spots. A couple times they've hit over the block and gone long. That one misses the mark from Provednikov. Keeps Kiriakou on serve. 19-13 Eaters. Serve goes long. That breaks up a 3-0 run for UC Irvine. Boyle in there for serve receive out of La Crescenta and Crescenta Valley High School. Couple assists, couple digs for UC San Diego yesterday. It was their primary libero back in 2024 and 2023. Missed last season with a back injury. Cook stepped in, and they've been deploying both this year. Serve goes wide from UC San Diego. A side out for UC Irvine, and the Eaters get to 20. Clark floats one deep. That one goes long. An ace and 7 errors for the Anteaters. No aces, 5 errors for UC San Diego. Not like the start. Teams just looking to do what they can to try and land some serves here. Right into the Triton block, well covered by Kiriakou. That way, one more time is in. Recovery on the second effort. Tritons asking about the antenna. And UC San Diego will issue a challenge here. No, we'll go back to video review. Question of whether this thing hit the antenna or not. First challenge by UC San Diego. Ruling on the court was that the ball landed in. So it's just simple call of in or out and checking the red and white stick to see if it made contact. Sometimes it can look like it if it hits the tape. Now, no question as to whether it was in or out. You're looking at whether this thing hit off the antenna. On its way over. And it comes right across the top of the net. It does wobble. It hit close to it. That is tough to tell. So what you always come back to with these challenges is that the call on the floor is crucial, because you're not always going to get indisputable evidence. And again, it hit the tape right by the stick. Always going to be a little bit of extra wobble when that's the case. There's another look at it. I don't think it hit the antenna. And confirm the call. Nice look from the backside, our ESPN Plus production crew. Giving you the goods here on these replays. So you see San Diego down to 2 challenges. And another service error. And hey, what else is new? 13 of them here in the opening set. Heaters still with a good late lead, and the Tritons call on the Pepperdine transfer Tyler Stewart. He's a setter for this group out of Broomfield, Colorado, and Prospect Ridge Academy. No aces, 5 errors on the season. Short toss, lands his serve. Heaters handle it well, and that's put away. Lots of space there for Micah Goss, the Santa Barbara native who was on the Big West All-Freshman team last year. He's 5th in the conference, hitting .352 this season. For the top 11 in terms of hitting percentage for this efficient group. Sani hard off the hands, good play to keep it alive. Aiken setting out a system. Shot long right in front of the Triton bench on that effort from Darcy. Started 4:06. Tritons have been able to put up more resistance against Darcy since. A kill and 2 errors on his last 3 swings. Still pacing the pack with 5. Only 15 points out of our 43 on kills so far. Just over and off the block and down. Kiriakou takes some off. Lands it for the Eaters. They're 2 points away from this opening set. Out hitting the Tritons 292 to 056. The signature 3 slow clap for Goss. Uncorks a good serve, handled by Boyle. Sani, hard off the hands, kept alive by Jokanovic. Lewis gets the first ball, so the set by Provednikov. Sani through the block and down. Oh, coverage has been excellent defensively for UC Irvine. That time, Sani sticks it into the block for his 3rd kill. Plenty of time to settle underneath this one. And the right angle for UC San Diego coming in from that right pin. Put Sani back on serve. Big time pace on that one. As off the Triton block. And out. But a UC San Diego point. Trying to turn over on that one and ended up hitting the antenna. Tritons back within 4. Sani, another good serve. A little bit of room for Costi to cover. Triton block set up, and it all goes back to the Sani serve. You get a running set, well off the net goes Kiriakou. And that's why you keep serving tough. That's why you put on that serve. Tritons were facing a much bigger deficit then. They were down 22-13 and got all the way to 24-20 for a Darcy kill to cap it off. Another good serve coming out of the timeout. Kosti pulls it off the net, but the service pressure setting up Provednikov, and the Tritons are within 2. Same as before the timeout, it all starts with the serve. And Provednikov finds the floor right in front of Jokanovic. 4-0 UC San Diego run. Zani serving tough again. This time the pass finds its mark, but Selcho sends it back. Tritons within a point here. Looking to set it up out of the middle. Trying to get Clark on the move, and UC San Diego ready early with the block. Sani serve picks out Aitken from the right side. Triton block there again. And Lion Tree Arena is fired up as we're tied at 23. Timeout UC Irvine. 6-0 stretch for UC San Diego. Trying to go from the right side, and same thing. Triton block set up early. Peter Selcho. 57 blocks for him coming in for UC San Diego. And the Tritons with some tough service, some good defense, and a couple of good swings. They're playing really good complementary volleyball at the moment. It's all coming together. The service pressure, the coverage, terminating points quickly. A couple times where they got UC Irvine out of system. And that is one of the biggest strengths of this group. 7th in the country in aces per set on the season. And while you're not talking about aces directly in that service stretch, they don't have one tonight. But it's what you can do with some tough serves, putting service pressure on. And for UC San Diego, when they brought Sebasani over from Long Beach State, he played in 50 sets out of 110 for the Beach a season ago. It was to expand his role. It was to come in. It was to be the guy. It was to do stuff like this. He's going to take some off out of the timeout. Tritons trying to cover. Big response there for the Eaters, and they'll go on set point. The change of pace serve that time after it was a lot of heat. I thought he would stick with the heat. They're coming out of the timeout. And the Trevor Clark kill puts the Eaters on set point. Tritons trying to rescue it. Lures dodging his teammate on the ground. And a big 2-0 close for UC Irvine. Back-to-back kills for Trevor Clark. Underway here in the second. Tritons in the white, Eaters in the blue in this blue and gold rivalry match. And it's Sebasani getting it going. 4th kill for UC San Diego. And top 5 in the Big West in kills and points. And 8th in aces per set this year. He had that crucial service run to close it out in the first, and that time well off the mark. That hit the bottom of the net. So side out for UC Irvine sends Trevor Clark back to serve. Back-to-back kills for Clark to close the opening set. Lures picks out Provednikov. Block gets a piece of this one for UC Irvine, and they cannot connect. Kosti looking for Goss or Jokanovic. Ended up right in between those two. And puts Peter Selcho on serve. So sloppy on the last couple points for both teams to start the second. 2-1 edge for UC San Diego, and the third-year starter Selcho floats it over. Quick look from Micah Goss, and he puts it away. 1.7 kills per set. Featured in all but 8 this year coming in. 5th most efficient hitter in the Big West. This group that's got a lot of them at the top of that leaderboard. Sani leans and gets to it. Here's Ewert, smashes it home. He's got some of the best arm talent on the team, and this is thunder from Josh Ewert. Big serve goes right into the middle of the net. It was Sani and what he did with the serve that helped the Tritons dig out of that late hole in the opening set. A bit of a theme for this group this year. Slow starts in the first set, but then that rally late trying to set the tone. And Jim Garrison continuing to do Jim Garrison things. Efficient at the mark for UC San Diego, always rocking the fun socks. He's got Snoopy socks on tonight for the Tritons. Provednikov just clears the net. Tough serve, they'll back set it. A little bit off on that swing from Darcy. Now Sani soloed up, covered deep by Jokanovic. Right into the Triton triple block goes Kiriakou. And UC San Diego with their 6th block. It's got to be the Sox. Harrison and the frontliners send it back. 6.5 blocks. 3 go up. You get credit for half apiece. And the net resistance looking good for UC San Diego. Back to the Eaters here after another UC San Diego service error. Goss's serve handled by Boyle. Another big swing from the Tritons. This time it's Leo Provednikov. Not really steady for this group as an outside hitter a season ago, and really just the go-to volleyball player on the Tritons. Brad Rostratter highlighting his skill, his awareness, his intelligence, his growth within this roster of UC San Diego. Said expected them to rely on him more and more as the year was going on. This time it's Ewert. And some big-time swings from UC San Diego. 2-point lead once again. 3rd kill for Ewert, who had a monster match to start the season in the opener against Jessup. Struggled to find that efficiency sense, but he's got the kind of game-changing ability that you'd like to see UC San Diego uncork in these big matchups. That one is out. A couple Eaters calling for a touch on the Kiriakou look. Mega hops at 6'2", and you have to be effective at this level. 7 kills on 263 hitting, with 4 digs for this group yesterday in the sweep. Lewis serves it into the net, and UC San Diego continuing to give away points on service errors. They're winning this second set 8-6. That is 5 service errors for UC San Diego here in the second out of 6 anteater points. Boyle goes and gets it for the second ball. Ewert trying to work it centrally off the block. Eaters send it back. Sani tools the block for a kill. 9-6 Tritons. The kill by Goss to make it 2-2. The only anteater point not off a Triton service error here in the second. Back to Sani, who's put down some of their best serves tonight. And he's been up and down, and it's another one into the net. What this anteater group can do offensively, you got to continue to serve tough. So the Tritons trying to stick with that. Provednikov got to it quick and got it down for UC San Diego. Wasn't really able to get his efficiency going yesterday. Hit 0 on the nose. 8 kills, 8 errors, and 25 swings. 2 assists, had an ace, also 5 digs. It's Peter Selcho out of Fountain Valley and Irvine High School. Running play that time into the table here as well, and they just keep it alive. Tritons trying to tap it over the block. Doesn't go for Provednikov. Lefty look that time from Jokanovic, and that'll get it done. Sneaky that time from UC Irvine. I'll side out to get it back within 8 points. Great rescue right in front of our broadcast location. Push a flat serve through the tape, and Sonny delivers. To some oohs and ahs from his teammates and everybody here in the crowd. But clearly behind the line, quick whippy action straight up and down then from UC San Diego. And I say the Tritons, that's the best thing they've got going for them right now, as they have been unleashing on some of these swings. Triple block sends this effort back. Awkward play, it'll go for UC San Diego. A legal attack that time from Costi as he tried to go get it off the net. Tritons rolling over that late first set momentum. Lost the last 2 points after 23 apiece. And a big time serve from Ewert gives it back to UC Irvine. So that's now 7 out of 9 points on service errors. Tritons are still getting it done. Siding out quickly. They'll take advantage of an error here and get back on it. Tritons averaging 2 blocks per set on the season. Exceeding that mark and then some here through a set and change. Time set off to the right side, hard off the hands, and that will get it done. You get that block on the move, you get a good rangy set. Get those blockers having to travel a lot of distance laterally. Nicely done by UC Irvine. Gets Goss back on serve. And dipping action that time, handled by Boyle. Ewert casts off for UC San Diego. Say the same for that point as you would about UC Irvine's kill a moment ago. Look at how much range you're making the blockers cover. You get a 1v1 look. Ewert hard down the line. Hits the better of Goss. Sets up Garrison on serve. He gets this one over. The back set off the Triton block. Great coverage, Kiriakou. Trying to push it off the block and couldn't. On the women's side, who made the title match in 2011. First time they did that in program history. Former National Assistant Coach of the Year for UC Irvine. Helped them to a couple of those other natties in 07 and 09. He was a 2-year starting setter for the Eaters as well. So a lot of history, familiarity with this program, been directly involved in some of that top-end success. His Eaters get a kill from Clark coming out of the media timeout, and the Tritons misfire here with Ewert. So UC San Diego had built up the lead. Nice 2-point stretch for UC Irvine coming out of the break. It's a 5-2 spree for the Tritons going into that media timeout. This serve goes long from Darcy. Point UC San Diego leading at 16-12. Came close to winning a couple sets yesterday. Had a few opportunities at set point late. Not able to get over the finish line. They're in a really good spot here in the second tonight. Costi. Kiriakou trying to cut the angle, shoots it wide. Tritons by 5 here in the second. They went into the break on a 9-0-13 clip, hitting nearly 700 to start the set. And that attacking error there first. 14 swings in. That's how the Triton block there. And no coverage behind Trevor Clark. Tritons again able to set up early, and when they have been, they've been effective. And Peter Selcho fired up there. So the Eaters down 6, and they're bringing in Nicholas Restrepo for his NCAA debut. Be used as a decoy here. Big swing out the back, up by Keegan Cook. Now the joust won by Sonny. And it's all Tritons right now on a 4-0 run. Wins the joust against the setter Costi. A few extra words coming out of it. Big point of emphasis for officials to try and stop that chatter and celebrating toward the opponents. So just a quick word with John Lewis about that, as UC Irvine will go ahead and take time out once again. Well, Tritons dominating in this second set with a 19-12 edge, plus 800 in the hitting percentage department. And were it not for a piling up of service errors early on, it might even be more one-sided than this. Not often that you see a 7-point set and you say, well, that's not really indicative of how the set's gone. It's actually a little more in UC San Diego's favor than that. Now, some of that, you know, you got to keep the service pressure on. You got to keep serving tough. And for their part, the Tritons have done that, and they've gotten their way out of some of the service error troubles from earlier in the set and are really starting to impose their will. Four 4-0 stretch for UC San Diego coming out of this timeout. It'll be John Lewis to serve as David Niffen talks over some things with the nation's leader in hitting percentage in Clark. 15 aces on the season for Lewis. Pass out of the middle. And Restrepo is on the board. The 6'10 redshirt sophomore out of Camarillo. A first NCAA kill. Met that thing quickly, worked it around the block, and has got all the Eaters fired up. Didn't see this team go beyond 7 players last night. Part of that where they're at in the set. I think a little behind late and a chance to get some guys into action. And they'll keep it going here with Micah Toomas and Aiden Schulten. So Schulten will come into set, the redshirt junior out of Seal Beach, into action for the 14th time this season. Toomas, for his part, the redshirt freshman, also a setter. Played in 30 out of 69 sets. So Schulten doing the setting, trying to change it up, and they get a kill off the block. Jokanovic able to tool it. The 6'7 freshman. Third in the Big West in kills percent coming in, 11th in hitting percentage. He's been a great server too. Restrepo from behind the line forces an overpass. And off the Triton block and out. Lefty swing that time from Toomas. So something to try and change the momentum here. Toomas with just his 8th kill of the season. Flat serve just clears the net. There's a solo stuff out of the middle. Micah Goss sends it away. Well, first set, UC Irvine built the lead. UC San Diego rallied back. Couldn't quite flip it, But they got to 23 apiece, and now UC Irvine going into the bench and going on a 3-0 run. They've climbed out of the negative hole and gotten to 0 hitting on 7 kills in the set. And they've gotten the Tritons down to 500 hitting. But again, for UC San Diego, they started 9-0-13. Since then, it's 1-2-3. Kills, errors, and total attempts hitting in the second. So just like we saw yesterday, good battle, some good back and forth action. Tritons had the momentum. Eaters went to the bench, shifting that Mo back in their direction. And Script, that's 9th in the country in kills per set, 12th in assists, 37th in opponent hitting percentage, 41st in digs, the 11 blocks, a nice boost over 3 sets, up from 32nd in the country in that mark on the year, and 11th as well in service aces. Pretty good crowd on hand tonight here at Lion Tree Arena. Finals finished up. We're on spring break, but sports roll on here in La Jolla. And the Eaters looking to roll on out of the timeout. 3 straight, 4 of the last 5. Lures out of the middle. Tritons go with the efficient look out of Selcho, hitting .435 this season. Selcho will head back to serve. 21-16 UC San Diego after his first kill of the night on his second swing. Goes soft, set out of the middle. Dig by Selcho deep. Long shot, leads to an overpass. They go back to Provednikov. This time he tries to go soft. Garrison bump setting out his system, and it's ripped into the net as a couple Tritons go hitting the deck. Heater is able to side out. Schulten takes his seat. Darcy back into action here with the redshirt freshman Tumas, the lefty, serving it up. Back to Provednikov, works it off the block to depth. Got it through Darcy and Goss, and it's 22-17 UC San Diego. So they've reached the part of the rotation where Costi can get back into action. Tritons have also brought Cam Whirl into action here. San Diego, who began the year as their starting setter out of Cathedral Catholic High School. Good disguise that time by Ewert. Hard off the hands, tapped over, easy as you like for Provednikov. Starts by getting the touch on Darcy. Ball makes its way down the tape. Tritons 2 points from evening this match at a set apiece. This time Ewert goes full smoke. And another service error. 23-18. Talked a lot about the Triton errors. They piled up for UC Irvine as well. No aces, 13 errors, Tritons. As Garrison finds an easy spot out of the middle. An ace and 11 errors for UC Irvine. Set point for UC San Diego. Quick look, quick put away for Garrison. Kind of ISO'd in the middle. Off the hands of Ewert that time on the Darcy swing. Time for the match lead with 7 kills. Hit 391 yesterday. Tritons have been more effective at slowing down the 6'10 redshirt senior today. Hitting 167 with 7 kills. Gives him a chance to extend this set. It's Goss, touched by Provednikov. And Sonny off the block, off the antenna, and the Tritons take. Tritons trying to make it 2 straight wins over UC Irvine in Lion Tree. Somebody looking for a 2-1 lead here. And the Triton block puts it back in, but it goes wide as Josh Ewert took a tumble there. You can see he's got a little bit of a cut or a scrape by that right shoulder. Looks like he's good to go. Remember earlier on he had gone crashing into the media table on that side. Fortunately, he was all the way on the ground, so it was right into the padding and not anything into the pixel board. Although a few of those panels look like they'd taken a hit. So it's a 1-0 start for UC Irvine. Out of the back row. And that one a shot right off of the face of William Darcy. Looks like Darcy's all right. He's giving the thumbs up. Man, you got to be tough to play this game. High speed finish from Provednikov, and the Tritons continuing to take big and confident swings. 14th service error by UC San Diego will give it back. And the reactions right away. Everybody on the UC San Diego side of the net going over, putting the hand up saying, hey, not what we meant to do there. This game moves at hyper speed, especially when you got two teams that can swing it like this. And there's Provednikov again. It's up to 8 kills, tied for the match lead with his teammate Sani. 2 assists, 2 digs, and 2 blocks for Provednikov, who's up to 312 hitting. He's been able to find and stick with an efficient groove in this one. Try and pop it over. That's a point for UC San Diego. That action that time was on Costi. So no credit for the kill for Ewert. This one tight to the net, try and pull it back, and they're able to do so. Nice setup that time as Jokanovic gets the put away. Costi picks up an assist, gets up to 18. One-handed back set then. Nice touch. Ewert powers it right into the block, and another point for UC San Diego. You wonder if that match yesterday from Ewert against UC Irvine was kind of the start of his reemergence for the Tritons. I'll tell you what, gives you another big-time power arm on the floor. Serve goes hard off the top of the net. They'll push it off the block, and a smart shot got some second life to it. Then from Kiriakou. Third kill from the Canadian international. 1.4 a set this season on 197 hitting. And some more mop-up duty right in front of the UC San Diego bench. And big-time shout-out to the facilities crew. And pregame, had a ball smashed right into a water bottle over here that sent it all over the floor. And the guys came over in a hurry and cleaned it right up. Serve goes wide, and it's a point for UC San Diego. Combined tonight, 1 ace, 26 errors. Quick out of the middle underneath this one, and no touch for Trevor Clark. Eaters had started out 3 kills on 3 swings for the set. So that was their first misfire. Tritons have hit that mark as well. 303 with some quick looks, some terminal offense. First error here in the third. This one hard and high off the hands, and a point for UC Irvine as Darcy racks up his 8th kill. And the athleticism for Darcy at 6'10". Elite length on the pin. Short toss, Provednikov handles the serve, and it's Sani right through the block. First ball side out for UC San Diego. won gold with the NCAA Final Six U.S. men's national team. And then bronze at the U21 Worlds in 2025 with a bunch of guys from UCLA. A good international experience from Sani as Garrison watches that one goes wide and flashes up the no, no, no. So 3 error-free swings. 2 errors on the last 3 for the Anteaters. That one straight into the tape from Jokanovic. 4 kills, 4 swings, no errors. Tied up at 1 set apiece. And Triton block gets it done again. Fist pumps from Lewers and Selcho. Set up early into the triple block against Kiriakou, who's well off the net, and a yellow card issued to Selcho here. Now, they had gotten the one warning earlier about celebrating the other way. Now, it's not one of those things where it's about walking toward or moving toward your opponent. Even if you're falling away, there's the emphasis on you're not supposed to look back and say anything in their direction. So you'll typically get the warning. For what it's worth, doesn't seem to be much that's escalating here. I think it's just the energy in the gym, and I think you talk to a lot of student athletes and they'll say, look, as long as it doesn't elevate and doesn't start to get chippy, they'll be all right. So Triton's back to serve, 10-5 lead. Tap over, Eaters can't get a clean swing away. Lewis had his effort sent back. This one is off the block from Seba Sani. Sani the first to double figures, he's hitting .471. And the Tritons up 6 on a 4-0 stretch. Rolling that momentum from the second here into the third. Garrison's serve goes long. Not even the high volume of service errors that put them behind the 8 ball in the first. They were able to dig out of it, but they've managed that just fine. Sani again. Sent back, covered by Selcho. Back to Sani, turns it in off the block. Try to push it off the block here. Eaters ewable to keep it alive, and a swing from the back. Nice effort. Sani just off the net. Good swing there, good coverage. Great dig by Ewert of Jokanovic. Now the floor coverage, massive right now. And finally put away by Darcy on the best point of the night. No, that's excellent, and that's what it takes to get it done in this league. Yeah, and more than a few there that looked like they could have terminated the point. The coverage was there, the swings from off the net. Both Darcy and Sani turning in good efforts for their respective sides. Lots of bodies hitting the floor, so more mop-up work here on the hardwood. And the Eaters with Kiriakou serving down 4. Sani has it set back. Right back into him. And that is the second block for UC Irvine. Everything there and on time. The length of Clark at 6'10". If he's on time, he's going to be tough to hit around. Overpass and a tap down. And UC Irvine starting to get some momentum. They're back within 2 on a 4-0 stretch. Tritons will let it play out for at least one more point. Running up in a quick serve look from Kiriakou. Forced a back set. Sani falling off the net, gets it done. Goes to meet it at the peak, goes off speed for UC San Diego against the triple block. Less coverage behind him, but it was that touch falling off the net that redirected it enough to get UC San Diego the point. And John Lewis. off the tape and stays on this side. So point for UC Irvine. Sixteenth service error for UC San Diego. And that one not particularly close. You look at yesterday's matchup, 4 aces, 15 errors for the Tritons. And for the Eaters, that was their mark as well. So the error is just about there. We're midway through the third set. Aces a little lagging behind, and this one goes long. They can live with those close ones a little bit better, but well, we've seen a high percentage of serves that have been multiple feet off the mark tonight. That one a little closer from Sani. Provednikov gets the first look. Sani out of the back, and he stepped on the 10-foot line. And was guilty of that yesterday as well. Got to be completely behind the line on takeoff. And UC Irvine rallying back here after falling behind 11-5, and that's just how this one is going. Just when one team starts to get a little separation, starts to pull away, you're seeing an answer. Sometimes it's bigger stretches and longer sprees of points. Sometimes it's just a few here and there, but either way, the momentum not staying with one camp for very long, and we are settling in to a battle here tonight. Tritons have had the edge this set, hitting 308 to 143 for UC Irvine. For the match out, hitting the Eaters 322 to 118. Big part of that, the block. 18 attacking errors on 68 swings with 26 kills for UC Irvine. Tritons have been good with their efficiency. Just 10 errors, 29 kills, 59 swings. Digs about even, serves for the most part as far as the point scoring side of it goes, fairly close as well. But the big edge, 8.5 on the block mark, 10.5 to 2. The advantage for UC San Diego. So off of a Triton timeout, here's the redshirt freshman Costi. .34 assists, an ace, and 3 errors for Costi in yesterday's win. Also put down a couple of kills for UC Irvine. Sani up with it first. Ewert terminates. Good response from UC San Diego out of the timeout. A first ball side out. And that brings Peter Selcho back to serve. Able to turn this thing around quickly and just beats the block to the punch. One well off the mark, and there it is again with those serves. You're talking about missing by multiple feet for UC San Diego. And again, most of the time, like we talked about, you can live with the close ones, but just trying to land them, that might be a difference maker here. Ewert misses wide. Triton saying that Brad Rostratter should challenge, and he'll do so right away. So the Tritons calling for another look at this one. Point for UC Irvine as it stands to make it 14 apiece, but if UC San Diego wins this challenge, then it will go back to 15-13. Tritons up 2, going back on serve. Remember, they lost that and the challenge for a potential ball off the antenna earlier. And now plenty of time for Ewert to tighten up that ankle brace. Chances for both of these groups to talk it out. Talked about David Niffen with this group. He was at a couple NCAA stops. 2-year starting setter for UC Irvine. He started out with LMU in 2000 before that program was discontinued. And with Pierce College at the JUCO level, went undefeated and won a state title in 2001. A very quick look at this challenge. They had some time to make up for after the challenge and the extra discussion on that 4 contacts earlier. And it's a point for UC Irvine. So the Tritons unsuccessful with the second challenge as we give you another look for Ewart. Trying to see if that one was off a touch, but nothing doing there. So the Tritons have lost 2 challenges, and they're now in a position where they are down to 1 unsuccessful challenge through the 4th set. If you get to the 5th and you're sub 3, you get 1 back. Eaters have won both of theirs, so they're still sitting on the max at the moment. Ewart's power serve off the tape. Aitken with the up and right into the block. Once again, Tritons up to 11.5 blocks. Garrison and Provednikov. 6 different Tritons with at least 3 blocks tonight. One of their best blocking efforts of the season. They have matched their season high in blocks, easily a season high in Big West action so far. They had 9 at UC Santa Barbara. Beck Weber in for some of his first action. Long Beach native out of Los Alamitos High School. 2 aces and now 3 errors on the season. So side out for UC San Diego. 17-15 Tritons. 1 set apiece here in the 3rd at Lion Tree Arena. Provednikov just ticks the tape. Setting Darcy, he overshoots it. And a point for UC San Diego. Pointing over to the bench. Thinking about a possible challenge here. But they're going to hold off and let it go. Tritons down by 3. That serve is in. Hold the phone. We have a service ace. First of the night for UC San Diego. Down into the corner. You couldn't walk it out on the court and place it much better than that. Another tough serve. Well, back set it. Trying to push it over. Sani goes over the block, about to navigate the antenna, and Darcy cannot. 4-0 stretch for UC San Diego, and UC Irvine will take its second timeout. And this as we continue to go back and forth here, UC San Diego at a 14-14 tie. And since then, it's been the Tritons on the strength of a 6-1 stretch. 4-0 in the micro and 6-1 in the macro. And the Eaters once again are hitting in the negative for a decent portion of that second set. It's been attacking errors 7 every set so far for UC Irvine. Everything else fairly even, but 6 kills and 7 errors hitting in the negative for a group that came into this thing 12th in the country in hitting percentage, putting up a .318 mark so far on the season. Jokanovic, our player to watch, second on the Eaters in kills. He has been the one offensive bright spot as far as efficiency goes, putting up a 7-1-16 line for .375, but they have to get somebody else going behind him. A lot of candidates to do that, but right now facing a 5-point deficit late set 3. Provednikov rolls the serve over, out of the timeout. There's the answer. As so often when you need a kill, you go back to your high efficiency guys out of the stoppages. And that's Trevor Clark. Trying to get UC San Diego on a spread read. They commit right, and he's got plenty of room to hit around it. Sani just taps the line. Perfection there from Seba Sani. Now go back to Tyler Stewart. In here as a service sub. Stewart gets this one over. Quick swing up by Provednikov. Long track for Lures. Sani off the block and unable to stick out the chicken wing to keep it alive. Third block for UC Irvine. Coverage there and where it needed to be from UC San Diego. And the Tritons still maintaining this 21-17 edge. It's Kiriakou. Lures for Ewert. And the D ball from Ewert goes again. A lot of early season looks were for him on the BIC. That's where he found some success in the infancy of this 2026 campaign. He's back to rocking the D-ball, something that Anthony Scherfon did so well for this Triton group. Pass the torch to Ewert. And this one is wide. 8th attacking error. Eaters hitting in the negative. Tritons 2 points away from taking the third. It's Lures back to serve. 30 assists and 7 digs in this matchup last night. Handled by Aitken. Want the answer on the D ball, and that's some heat from William Darcy. The Australian international pulls him back within 5. Heaters need a rally. It's Trevor Clark. Try to pull this one back, and the Tritons not able to get control of it. Still with the timeout to use for UC San Diego. Tritons get a handle on the serve, and they get a kill out of Selcho. It's been top 4 in total kills and points each of the last 2 seasons. And he's got UC San Diego on set point. Sani came through to deliver the second. He's serving here in the third. Good serve. Forces a soft shot from the back. Ewert rolls it over. Nice coverage, Aitken. Triton block. Sends it back. This one up by Lures on the Jokanovic look. Ewert trying to push it off the block. He goes into the net. And UC Irvine wins a long rally. Survives and stays alive here in the third. They'll need a service run from Costi. Great serve to start. Overpass and an easy tap down for Darcy. Well, that's the way to get it started. Back-to-back points for UC Irvine. No defense at that point. He's going to save it for UC San Diego. Another tough serve. And it's Ewert who has it rejected. Jokanovic goes up for the block alongside Weber. And UC San Diego will take its second and final timeout. And here we go again. It continues to be the theme. Just when you think you're seeing some separation, other group making the comeback effort. And Jokanovic turns that one back. UC San Diego offense had heated up down to 125 hitting in this third set, and UC Irvine has found some of that net defense. They worked so well for the Eaters yesterday. 3 out of their 4 blocks for the match here in the third set. Tritons hitting 125, Eaters hitting 038. A 3-0 UC Irvine stretch. They've come out, they've saved 3 set points, and they'll need to save 2 more to try and extend this thing and give themselves a shot to take a 2-1 lead. Tritons last season, they went 18-12, 3-7 in the Big West. Go a 3-way tie for 4th out of 6. Took out UC Santa Barbara in the quarterfinals and lost to eventual national champs Long Beach State in the semifinal. Trying to see if they can make some noise against a top 5 side in the country. 3 of the top 5 in the national rankings out of the Big West. And here we go out of the timeout. Nasty serve handled by Provednikov, who comes back around for the swing, and the block is there once again. Eaters back within 1. Trying to get to the brink. That goes long. They got all the way to within 1 on the season. Only been held to sub 220 once. Big swing that time, and it's point for UC Irvine. UC San Diego asking if there was anything in the way of into the net there. But what you got to remember for the Tritons here, they've used 2 challenges already. So if they use a third, they wouldn't have one until a 5th set if we get there. And you're not necessarily asking about a challenge per se right away. Could just be an interpretation. Hey, can you ask them what they saw? It would have been on that near side of the benches for Tom Saunders. Say, hey, do you see somebody into the net there? Well, that last challenge, high leverage for UC San Diego. Sani overswings, and a good start for UC Irvine. Playing a lot of catch-up for the Eaters over the last couple sets. They take the first 2 points of this 4th. Lures elevates, it's smashed down by Micah Goss. He goes and gets it. 3-0 stretch for UC Irvine to start the 4th. It's close to the net. Lures trying to pull it back with a hand. Now Lures saying there was a touch for UC San Diego. Everybody courtside calling for it as well. And it looks like the Tritons will go ahead and call for the challenge. For what it was worth, I think they've got the right idea. That was right in front of us. I thought seeing that thing live that it was a touch before it went out. The Triton group, by the way, that taking on a top 5 team in the country. They've got 5 top 5 wins over the last 5 seasons coming in. And another look, was there a deflection off the left hand there of Aitken? A little bit of change of direction at the end. A little bit hard to tell from that look behind. And different set of looks that the officials are checking out. And Tom Saunders, the R2, leading the way today. So I suppose when we talk about challenge records and whether we're getting them right or not with our best guesses on the broadcast, know that we're not taking a look at the exact same evidence that the officials are checking out. Again, couldn't make too much of that last replay that we saw. I thought live that there was a touch. So if UC San Diego is able to win this thing, it'll be 3-1 here in the fourth. They'll get served back. Let's check it out here from the back angle. Looking for a change. There's basically little to no rotation on that ball, and it looks like that effort by Aiken just starts a little bit of it, but is it indisputable evidence? And it is. Oh, no, it's not. No, it's not. Tom Saunders had pointed the wrong way. Much to the dismay of the courtside crew. So the point stays with UC Irvine. So now no more challenges for UC San Diego here in the fourth. And they're behind 4-0. And make it 5. Darcy hard off the Triton block here. So Tritons would get a challenge back if we go to a fifth set. Lead for the visitors. And Sani right out of the challenge comes back with an ace. Third ace of the match. It's been hard to come by. You saw the coverage that time. It was Kosti getting into his setting position and just found it past Jokanovic. Well, the volleyball gods, they give and they take away. 16-10 UC Irvine. Been on it from the jump here in the fourth set. Barreling out of the gates to a 7-0 lead. Lead was as big as 10-2, and that's a point for UC San Diego once again. So Triton side out. And for the first time tonight, we'll see Aiden Powell out for his 9th match of the season. Saw some action off the bench against UC Irvine yesterday. Big swing and an overswing by Powell, the transfer from 3C2A Golden West College, where he's a state champion at the JUCO level last year. Also a former teammate of Trevor Clark. He put up some astronomical numbers, as you can imagine. His efficiency and size. Overpass knocked down by the Eaters. Darcy's got another one. He gets up to 14 kills. First touch going against Provednikov, and UC San Diego will take timeout. So Tritons call their second and final timeout of the fourth set. 25-23 Anteaters in the first. 19-23 to the Tritons in the second and third. It's been a good battle. It's been a good back and forth after 2 competitive sets to close it out yesterday. And a look at what the UC Irvine kill leader Will Darcy's bringing to the table tonight. Consistent presence for this group throughout the season. Up in the Big West in terms of kills and hitting percentages here. Hit .391 yesterday. And man, when he meets it at the peak, you need some size on the opposing block to try and put up any kind of resistance. Then you gotta love the response here for UC Irvine. Chasing down a deficit pretty consistently in sets 2 and 3. They held off the late UC San Diego rally in the first. And Darcy, who's coming off an honorable mention All-America campaign, was 3rd in the Big West in hitting percentage a year ago. Started 16 matches down the stretch. Really carved out a role for this group. And spent time with the Australian senior men's national team as well. 6'10" opposite for David Niffin's group. Tritons out of the timeout, put it right into the tape. Don't often see a misfire from Garrison. And UC Irvine with some late separation here in this fourth set. 3-0 run for the Eaters to go up 19-11. Off the tape, and Sani got tied up. I knew he was likely going to have to lunge forward for that thing. And that's just about what it's taken to get an ace tonight. This one comes from Micah Goss. It's Goss and Jokanovic with the aces. 17 now for Goss on the season. Hit him with the triple clap once again. Harrison into the net one more time. And he turned around to John Lewis and said, need that one a little bit higher. Set comes in low, it's put into the tape. Ten-point edge for UC Irvine. Provednikov sent away. And the Eater block. Getting going once again. They picked it up in the third set. That's their first one in the fourth, but well, they haven't needed the rejections really to build up this lead. One is off the mark, and it's a point for UC San Diego. You look at Jim Garrison so far this season for the Tritons. He's not in the qualifying metrics based on his involvement, but he's hitting .592 on the year. He's only had multiple errors in a match 2 times, and now make it 3. And has been seeing a little bit more volume as of late, especially in a conference action, up into the double digits. And that one buzzing the tower of John Pedersen up top. So the Tritons will bring Cam Whirl into action here. Looking to take over as setter. You see Irvine on its way to forcing a 5th set. Whirl trying to pull it back, and it's a point for UC Irvine. Now the most definitive set of the 7 between last night and tonight, and the Eaters on set point. Up by Sani, Whirl, the setter, tracking it down into the table, big swing. And UC Irvine into the net. So point for UC San Diego. Been very quiet a moment ago, now starting to stir again. Eaters, good contingent of fans here for this one. Strong serve. And the Tritons have an ace. Up for Provednikov. 21 of them coming in. His second of the night. Only student athlete with 2. Powers another one there. Back set, D-ball into the net. Now just for good measure, UC San Diego. 3 straight points here. We'll say it again, that's how it's been all night. Just when you think you know how things are going, momentum changes in a hurry. That one, though, is into the net, and that will get us to 5 sets. UC Irvine wins the 4th, 25-15, and the race to 15 is on in La Jolla. Josh Ewert brings that ferocious serve to the table. Set to start it off. He'll take some off. They'll have to drip back for the set. Hops back over to UC Irvine's side, right back to that spot. A little push off the block. Triton's cover. Provednikov with the tap and the point. Big one for UC San Diego. They fell behind 7-0 and 10-2 in the fourth. Never really able to considerably close that gap. And Ewert tries to put some back on this serve, and it goes long. So a mountain of service errors for both of these sides. 19 for UC Irvine, their most in a match this season, 23. UC San Diego's been up into the 20s a handful of times. They had 30 against Lewis earlier this year. And it's Provednikov coming through once again. Kills for the first two Triton points of set number 5. Triton bench starts the slow clap. Provednikov goes easy on the serve. Quick look, kept alive by Garrison, and now the point given to UC Irvine. That Garrison soloed up, got a big bite out of that on the block. But it's a point for the Eaters and gets Andre Jokanovic back to serve. And back and forth we go here to start the fifth. ncaa parle pas français. I know how to say it, or I think I do at least. I don't exactly know what it means, but there's there's your sign for the French International. I guess a good time to ask if we got any French speakers in the production crew. Maybe some come up in the ear. I mean, I suppose I've got the laptop in front of me and seeing a little bit of time here as they check out the net. So it looks like everything in order is good to go. Typing as fast as I possibly can to and sticks it there for Josh Ewert. He's got a kill for UC San Diego. UC San Diego back on top, 3-2. Nice dig from Ewert. Sonny's effort, dug out, trying to roll it deep. Ewert had it covered. Sonny again, into the block and out. And a point for UC San Diego. Serving. 4-2 lead for the Tritons. Push out of the middle, up by Ewert, dug by Garrison as well, and that one goes long. And off the leg of the linesman, John Park. So Goss will head back to serve. Now set up with both feet just off the line. So you know if it hits you, gets a piece of the foot, or in this case, a little bit up on the shin, you know it's out. Lures for Ewert, hard off the block for a Triton point. He skips back into the UC San Diego huddle. 11th kill for Ewert. 5 overall in double figures. And Lures, who's working on a 41 assist, 5 dig, 4 block night. With a 5-3 lead. Pretty good serve, Lures. Set to the middle and down from Trevor Clark. .541 hitter on the season to lead everybody across the country. And he's just into the positive there with his 5th kill. The Tritons have done a good job slowing down the efficiency of Clark. Here's Sani, meets it in a good spot. Set up nicely. It makes it 6-4. Sani goes into the net. Side out for UC Irvine. Another service error for UC San Diego, 27th of the match. And well, it has been tight. Start this 5th set. Provetnikov into the block. Kiriakou comes up with that quick serve. He's pretty much ready to go right on the whistle. And the Anteater block levels it at 6. Tritons had pulled in front. They're tied up at 2 apiece. They got a 2-point edge. And then 2 straight for UC Irvine on the error. That time it's Costi and Clark going up for the block. So Kiriakou here will stay on serve. A little more of a breather, so not that quick start serve. Much more deliberate before this one. End of the tape. Point for UC San Diego. It goes 7-6. Seljo takes a seat for UC San Diego. And Tyler Stewart back into serve. Overpass. Oh, went up to meet it at the net that time from Costi. Sent back to the UC San Diego side again, covered by Stewart. Out of the back row and rejected. 7-7 as we near the side change. And a question from UC San Diego, who does have a challenge now to work with that we've gotten to the 5th set. About that action early in the point by Costi. Was he in the clear to go up and get it? This is, I think you've got a case worth going for UC San Diego, but again, if you lose it, then you're back to out of challenges the rest of the way. Get a quick answer from Jim Garrison. 8-7 at the side change.
8-7, right at the switch.
Coming up on their most in a match this season. 30 was the most, so this is the 2nd most, and just 1 off of that. Here's Costi. Sani with the first touch. Back to Ewert, and they say out. Can't quite connect there from Ewert. Trying to go down the line into area 5. Heaters back on top, 9-8. And Garrison responds for UC San Diego. 6th kill for Jim Garrison. The redshirt senior for the Tritons coming through. Provetnikov for Aitken. That one is in, just inside the line. 12 kills to go with 8 digs for Jokanovic. He's got one of 5 aces for the night. And just tucks it in. Great serve, Jokanovic forces an overpass. Heaters by 1. Tritons trying to scramble here. Lures flying to go and get it. Sani rolls it over. Pretty good swing. Darcy on the other side, up by Provetnikov. Now a joust. And won by UC San Diego. 1v2. Sani wins the joust. And we're tied at 10. heck of an up that time by Provednikov. Goes right to the net. And Sani, they always say it's whoever pushes second is gonna win. And he's got that in his tool belt. UC Irvine, though, goes back on top on a Goss kill. Hitting .385 on 13 swings. Now 6 kills for Goss. Race to 15 points with the Eaters up 11-10. Lures. Another 1v2 joust goes to UC Irvine's side. Triton's calling for a double, but we play on. Now Sonny has the kill. A good show of sportsmanship by Lures. He goes across the net to help up Darcy, who ended up falling down. Went up on that tandem block with Clark. Another kill for Sonny as he closes in on 20. Coming down to the wire here on Saturday night. 11 a pop. And number 11 Lures serving it up, and number 12 Trevor Clark gets the Eaters to 12 points. Now just a quick look. Triton's set up from their defensive standpoint on the right. Plenty of space to hit into there. Tough serve from Darcy. Big swing off the block. Aitken goes and gets it. Darcy again hits high on Lures. Triton staying the point. Trying to rescue it. Off of a ridiculous angle for Josh Ewert. That was right in front of us. I didn't think he was going to be able to bring it back in the antenna, no less, off that kind of a swing, and he says, come on, get on your feet. Sani again into the net. And UC Irvine with the shot to get on match point. Lures ends up set over by Ewert. And the kill by Jokanovic. Match point Eaters. And a timeout for UC San Diego. All right, well, we had to come back around to this. That French phrase on the sign that we showed you a moment ago. And you'll have to forgive me if the pronunciation's off. Qui ne sait pas n'est pas français. It's a French sports chant, and the translation literally is to whoever doesn't jump is not French. You might hear it as one of those in-stadium chants for soccer matches or rugby matches when you've got high energy, but it's basically saying to fans, get on your feet, but boy, it also applies pretty well in volleyball. And the French international, Jokanovic, no doubt knows what it means, even if it took us, and by us I mean me typing away and going crazy during the break. Enough time to put it up. And there's a group that had the sign earlier. They're going to come back out of this thing to 2 match points for UC Irvine. 14-12 Eaters here in the 5th. They won the first set by 2. The Tritons took a 2-1 lead. And then the Eaters emphatic in the 4th, 25-15. This 5th set has been tight all the way. Eaters trying for the season sweep. The quick fire serve for Kiriakou. Ewert into the block. Covered by Boyle. Provednikov off the block and out, and the Tritons save 1 match point. Still 3 timeouts on the board. 1 for UC San Diego, 2 for UC Irvine. Selcho in to serve. Leo Wiemelt in to add some size to the UC San Diego front line. Off the block and out, and that does it for UC Irvine. Jokanovic with his 14th kill of the match, and the Eaters outlast the Tritons in a Big West instant classic, 3-2. UC Irvine with its third straight win in this matchup. They continue to stack on top of a really good NCAA tournament resume. They'll go to